Hello and welcome everybody. My name is Matt Levitt here in South Florida. I've got a bunch of stuff that I want to share with you and talk to you here tonight. I've got all kinds of notes and things that I want to go over with you, but I want you to understand what this show is about tonight. This is about some recent information that's become public information here about 45 days ago. And I got to talk about this because over the course of the last many weeks, a lot of you have contacted me and asked me questions and understanding and how I would respond to the information that's been put out there with respect to the Herbalife company. Now, Herbalife is a publicly traded company, so you can buy stock in the company if you'd like. It's traded on the New York Stock Exchange, for those of you that don't know. And as of lately, just about every single day there is something on the news, whether it's CNBC, Wall Street, whatever, you name it, Mad Money, something just about every single day about this company over the course of the last about 45 days. And it's been a lot of interest to me because, number one, I'm not a shareholder in the company. Number two, I'm not an employee of the company. And number three, I'm not a distributor with that company. As many of you know, I've had a lot of experience in working in business. I've owned franchises, I've owned businesses, I've started businesses, I've sold businesses. I have been in network marketing, and I've built distribution organizations in the multiple thousands at more than one company. And I kind of started the network marketing career in 1992. Not kind of, I did start the network marketing career of mine in 1992 at the company called Herbalife International. So I believe that tonight I can talk to you from a position of strength and a position of understanding and a position of expertise as it relates to this company. Not only was I a member of the company or a distributor of the company, not only was I what's considered to be an active sales leader with the company, but I also climbed to the millionaire position. It's called millionaire team level with the company in just under 6 months, my first 6 months. And so I entered into 1993 as a millionaire team member, and a few years later I joined the president's team level with the company and maintained that position for 8 years until my exit in September of 2006. So I spent a little over 14 years, about 14 and a half years with that company. And I had a lot of great experiences there. I learned a lot. Mark Hughes, the founder of the company, was a phenomenal person, a great promoter, very charismatic guy, and very passionate. And of course Larry Thompson. I was there when Larry Thompson was at the helm of director of, vice president of sales, I think was his official name. But he and Mark really did start the company, and Larry was responsible for building a lot of the distributor base there. Larry exited the company in 1993. So I mean, this is just crazy, man. What's been happening. And I want to try and hit some of my main topics here so that I can get through this in a very appropriate amount of time. And I want you to understand that, first of all, Bill Ackman, who runs Pershing Capital, it's a hedge fund. And what a hedge fund, you can look up hedge fund. I'm not an expert in the investment world. Years ago, I had a securities license. And from 1985 to 2000, or 1985 to 1992, I think it was when I was active as a securities license person, and then also sold insurance. So I was in the insurance arena, financial services, what they call it. But the hedge fund industry is a little bit different, you know. I mean, you can actually take a position long where you're buying in companies and looking for the gain of the company, or you can go short where you're actually selling your stock and hoping that the stock will go down, and then finding purchasers as the stock does go down, hopefully. If you, of course, it's just the opposite of buying stock and, and going long. If you buy stock and the price goes down, you lose money. If you go short and the price goes up, you lose money. So Bill Ackman's group, Pershing Capital, took a short position in Herbalife of 20 million shares. Not sure exactly when, but it was prior to the presentation that he did on December 19th, December 20th, something like that, of 2012. So just real recent here. And I went on to, I went and pulled this thing up a while back because I wanted to look at it, and I did the executive summary of it at first, and then as this thing started blowing up and people started asking me a bunch of questions, I thought, well, maybe I better go in and really research exactly everything that he did. So I did. I looked at it online, and then I went to the printer, because I was about to wear my printer out. I think 334 pages of an actual presentation that Bill Ackman, founder and CEO of Pershing Capital, that took a 20 million shares position on a short in the Herbalife company in whenever. And then he did his presentation on December the 20th, I believe, on this whole thing. And the premise of it is, and I mean, there's a lot to this. I mean, if you want to go read this thing, go to Facts About Herbalife, F-A-C-T-S, about Herbalife.com. Interesting, Bill went and bought, I guess, or somebody did, went and bought that domain name, and then they put up a bunch of information. It's really helpful information if you want to know the truth about the Herbalife company. And I've found that I've gone through the entire thing, and I think it's like 95% accurate. I think there's some stuff in here that's a little bit, I don't know that it's necessarily inaccurate, but I think it's a little bit of a stretch in terms of the way, the imagery of how they tie it together and try to make this company look like something that it really is not. But 95% of the information, I would agree, is right on the money. Okay, and you do your own due diligence if you want. If you're looking at the company from an investment standpoint, I definitely would go read that information. If you're looking at it to get involved with as a business opportunity or an income opportunity, I definitely would go take a look at it because it will give you a lot of insight on what's going on here. Now, out of these 334 pages, it's a PowerPoint presentation on the company. His final analysis, Bill Ackman, and he stated it throughout and right towards, mainly towards the front, and this is where the big publicity is coming in. Is Herbalife a pyramid scheme? Is Herbalife a pyramid scheme? Now, I mean, this company's been in business for 32 years. And they've done, Lord knows, how many billions of dollars of business. I think their retail sales volume in 2011 was $5.4 billion of business. They operate in 84 countries around the world. And they've got 3 million distributors in the company. Now, I pulled up something here from the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, that regulates the industry of network marketing. And I went to what is a pyramid scheme. And by the way, what is a pyramid scheme and then what is the indicators of a pyramid scheme are somewhat different. And there's a whole lot of information if you want to go to ftc.gov and look up information about pyramid scheme. But Bill Ackman's right on the money here. The organization, here's a definition of what is a pyramid scheme. The organization is deemed to be a pyramid scheme if the participants obtain their monetary benefits, primarily from recruitment rather than the sale of goods and services to consumers. Now, you know, the problem that I have with this is that, you know, at first notice, you know, people will go, oh my gosh, you know, it must be a pyramid scheme. Anything that looks like this, where you get in and you recruit people and they get people, must be a pyramid scheme. And I want to shed some light on that because the definition is obtain their monetary benefits primarily from recruitment rather than the sale of goods. Now, being around the network marketing industry for 20-some years, 21 years, direct sell industry for 28 years. I started when I was 19, I'm 47, so yeah, 28 years. And the funny thing is that I talk to a lot of people, and it's almost like it comes from, it's like some industry written book or something, you know. The minute you hear pyramid scheme, you get on some defensive track about, no, it's not a pyramid, here's it, yeah, whatever, a Ponzi scheme, or, you know. The thing is that the reality is when you build a business and you get a handful of people, and they get a handful of people, and they get a handful of people, it only stands to reason that it'll get bigger and bigger and bigger. Well, when I was in the Herbalife company, my business looked more like this. It was more like a diamond, okay? It went like that. And the reason is because you have attrition. And attrition means there are people that quit. People quit the business. People quit before they ever get started. People get the distributor kit, kick it under the bed, never look at it. People get on the products, don't like it, quit. People get in the business, start building a business, get a few friends. Somebody gets negative, they quit. I mean, quitting is the name of the game in any business. I've done recent videos talking about the fact is 90% of all new businesses fail within 4 years. Doesn't matter whether it's network marketing or what. You know, it doesn't matter. Open your own business, it doesn't matter. Okay? The cool thing about network marketing is it's a low barrier of entry. So, you know, a lot of people can get started for basically nothing. The price of a recruitment kit is anywhere from $0 on up to less than $100 for most companies. Almost every company. I don't think any companies are going more than $100 to get in, and that's a non-commissionable deal. Okay, so if you come in as a distributor into a company and you pay the distributor fee to get in, it's non-commissionable. It can't be commissioned anywhere. There's no commissions that can go anywhere on that. Okay, and that's the difference between whether it's a pyramid or not a pyramid. However, it's not the entire case. You can't just draw a line in the sand and say, okay, it's a pyramid or not a pyramid based on that. If that were the case, then why would you have companies like Fortune High Tech getting nailed and now being a cease and desist and having all the issues they're having? Okay, why would you have these companies that are, you know, Zeke Rewards getting nailed and getting out of business? Okay, it's reality. You know, I mean, I'm going to go through some points here that I think a company needs to make sure that they're under. But before we do that, let's talk about a few other things regarding this Herbalife thing. Okay, now this kind of all started, in my opinion, it all started last year because Michael Johnson, the CEO of the company, and Michael, public record shows that Michael made $89.4 million in 2011. I don't know where you guys come from, but from where I come from, that's a lot of dough. And in fact, I was looking it up, and according to the Russell 3000, which is 98% of the equity companies that are traded in the stock market, Michael Johnson was the #1 earner last year on a $5 billion company. Now, Herbalife's a big company, but they're not that big, you know. I mean, $5 billion, they're not that big. That's pretty big, but it ain't that big. I mean, to be earning $89 million, and I know he did some options or whatever, but I find it interesting that he exercised those options when the stock was trading up around $70 a share, and of course then this guy named Einhorn got a hold of this stuff. I think he probably was shorting the stock too. I don't know whether he ever admitted to it. He probably made wads of money on this deal. And he went after Michael Johnson on an investor call and wanted to know, and the question was, here, let me pull this up because I got it down here. The question was, David Einhorn had the balls to ask on the investor call, which I thought was really cool. He had the balls to ask these guys, of course, Michael Johnson, how much of the sales that you'd make in terms of final sales are sold outside the network and how much are consumed within the distributor base. So really the question that he was asking is, how much retail sales is going on and how much sales is going on inside the distributor base? And the answer was, we don't track this number and do not believe it is relevant to the business or investors. And of course I think that was an inappropriate answer for a publicly traded company in this arena. Now I know, and I've worked and consulted with and worked with distributors, and I've worked with consultants, and I've worked with companies, owners of companies, and I got to tell you something, in this day and age, in multi-level marketing, in network marketing, companies know how many customers are coming in. They know what their preferred customer base is. They know what their customer base is. They know. They have a real good handle on that deal. So for Michael not to be able to answer that question gives every right, in my opinion, for investors to go, what the heck's going on over here? And here's a guy that made $89 million last year, and he can't figure that deal out. So I got a problem there. That's where this whole thing started. And then, you know, they kind of rebounded a little bit, and they went through, you know, the summertime or whatever, and then in the meantime, Pershing Capital was doing their research on this company, and they came out in December and really started, some say, attacking the company. Well, they took a short position because they think that the company's stock's going to drop. They do a presentation that helps with that concept, and it's about money, you know. And I've got an answer for you guys at the end of this thing here in a few minutes. I want to share some stuff here that I think will really help in this process to make this thing really. Now, this thing is just loaded with stuff, okay? Just loaded. Now, I think the reality is people ask me, well, what's your opinion, Matt? Well, my opinion is this. I think that the Herbalife compensation model is antiquated at best. Their compensation, their business model, the way they operate, the terminology they use, they're antiquated. First of all, they use the terminology business opportunity, and I mean, you hear it and see it in just about everything they do. Well, there are 22 states that I'm aware of that you cannot use the word business opportunity and charge a fee for people to get involved at over $199. Now you say, well, there is not a fee to get involved. Well, let me tell you something. If you want to collect your royalty check at Herbalife, you got to do $4,000 of business, retail, in 1 month to get your royalty check. In order to position yourself to even collect royalties. What's a royalty? That's the money, the 5% that's paid through 3 generations over there on the people below you. If you recruit somebody and they go to the supervisor position, you are eligible to earn 5% on what they do. And if you don't get to 50%, you'll never earn that. Nor will you ever maximize any wholesale commissions over there. You got to do $4,000 in 1 month to do that, or $2,500 2 months back to back. That's the rules at the company. Well, that creates a buy-in situation. And now I want to tell you something. The FTC doesn't like buy-in situation. And most states don't like buy-in situation. Attorney generals don't like that. Don't like that stuff where people have to buy in order to get at a certain point in the compensation. That's antiquated. That's outdated. Companies that are starting up today and for the last decade haven't been operating that way. So they have an antiquated compensation model with their buy-in to get royalty. The other thing is each month you have to buy in. You got to do $2,500 in order, and it's based on your purchases. It's not based on your retail customers. It's based on your purchases. They can't track the retail customers. They already admitted to that. They don't have a computer program to do that. It's set up to the purchases that are made through the company. Those purchases, $4,000 to gift to supervisor, $2,500 a month to maintain so you can get your royalty check. Now, if you're not moving that product, then you're going to be stacking the stuff up in your garage, your laundry room, or your back porch. You're going to be eating a lot of product. You need to know that. That's a fact. I was there for 14 years. They haven't changed the business model yet. Now, the problem with it is also their product is then, that gives you a discount. You can purchase at a discount. Not a bad idea. That's all right. I like that idea. But the problem is if you're doing that much purchasing of product, you got to unload it. I get calls every day from people. Hey, I got a bunch of this thermogenics. Would you mind buying it at 12 bucks a bottle? You know, they paid, what, 25 bucks a bottle, and they want me to buy it for 12. That was before eBay and Amazon came around. Now eBay and Amazon, people are selling the product on there because they got to get rid of it. Or they're buying their check every month, no concern about retailing the product, but they're buying their check every month. It's an antiquated business model. 99.99% of the people will buy into that company. That's a red flag. The reality is it's antiquated. Now the company's going to argue that, no, we got this nutrition club thing set up. Come out and take a look at our nutrition clubs. Man, I got to tell you something. That was kind of the icing on the cake for me. Yeah. I went and investigated all these nutrition clubs. I went to Mexico and investigated them. I went to South LA and investigated the thing. And I got to tell you, here in the United States, we don't sell tacos on the street corner without somebody, you know, determining whether we got clean plates and clean utensils and all that kind of jazz. Now, it's okay if you want to go to Mexico and eat tacos off the street. I've done that before myself. But in America, we don't operate that way. You can't walk into an establishment and in somebody's back garage somewhere and legally have them serve you up some stuff. You know, it's different if they're sampling it, but to have you come in an organized way on a daily basis, called a nutrition club, come in on an organized way on a daily basis, and come in and serve you drinks and charge you money for it without being licensed to do so for food preparation. You can't do that. I mean, let me know, because I don't know anywhere in the United States that you can get away with this. Come on, let me know where that is. And they're touting at this, and I set up an office. I had a beautiful office in Minnesota. And one day I got a letter from the company. You're in violation of our contract here. I'm like, what are you talking? I'm like, what's this about? I got 3 of those things. You want to know why? One of them was because somebody peered in and they could see an Herbalife cup sitting on my counter, and then a plaque that I had that said Herbalife. Well, there are rules and regulations. Look at look at this thing in what was put together on the guidelines regarding nutrition clubs. You do a nutrition club, you got to put film over your windows at your office. Nobody can look in. They can't see anything that looks like or feels like or smells like or touches like Herbalife. Can't do it. Okay? So they wanted me to put a bunch of film over my windows. Are you kidding me? I got a nice, beautiful, professional office and they want me to put film over it. So nobody can see in. Go to factsaboutherbalife.com and take a look at this thing, because, and by the way, I'm not sure, Bill, in fact, I don't think you did, but I think you missed it, you know. You talked about the nutrition clubs in here, but you didn't talk about the fact that it's a food service thing, and people, and I don't think you did. I don't remember seeing that at all. I'm pretty sure I read every single page. Now, I'm going to give you some free advice, Herbalife and Ackman. Why don't you go take a look at this. Gerald Nara, he did some legal work for me for a while. Jerry was director of legal at the Amway Corporation for a number of years. He's very well versed on network marketing, has his own private practice, and for 30-some years has been in private practice focusing primarily on the legal aspects of network marketing MLM companies. I want you to research the business opportunity thresholds throughout the United States. It might shed some light on your guys' terminology over at Herbalife on business opportunity. I'll do another video about my former sponsor with the company as he talks. He sent me a Facebook message, and I got to tell you, it's just hilarious. But I'll do that on another call or video. That'll be a lot of fun. So you'd have to be a complete. You'd have to go through a complete overhaul there at the company, Herbalife. You're going to have to. After all this publicity, you're going to have to go through a complete overhaul. Your compensation model, because you're going to continue to get the questions as this goes on time after time again. That's my advice to you. Ackman, my advice to you is on page 59 of this thing, take out the 6 who get 6 who get 6 pyramid scheme. I'm telling you, this thing's embarrassing to even have. You should have pulled that out before you put the thing in there. I mean, come on. I mean, look, think about this for a minute. Herbalife's a $5 billion company. The weight loss industry worldwide is a $500 billion industry. Herbalife has 1% of that market after 32 years. Now, if you think they're going to all of a sudden crank up 6 who get 6 who get 6, and it's going to perfectly build out like that, and they're going to go and they're going to just, it's going to collapse because they got the whole market, you're nuts, man. That isn't going to happen. Not going to happen. You know, heck, look at Google. They got 63.4% of the online search optimization business. Herbalife's got 1% of the weight loss market. They're in 84 countries. They're in almost every place in the world. And they've only got 1%. Crap, if they double to 2%, they're a $10 billion company. And maybe Mike will make $150 million. So that's laughable. I mean, you know, the attrition rate alone, I have tremendous attrition, 90%. Actually, about closer to 80%. I had about 10,000 distributors in my business, and I had to replace 8,000 a year in the organization just to maintain. And a lot of those people were actually selling product to end users. Because that's how I was taught. I was taught to retail the product to end users. Now I know there's a bunch of people that have come into that thing. This mail order thing was an absolute disaster. It was started by some guys and gals. This internet thing, you know, getting people just to come in, buy product, and turn around and sell people, do the same thing. This newest way to wealth thing. All those guys were just destroying the foundation of the industry, certainly the company. And I know Mark Hughes, he didn't like it. He didn't want anything to do with it. But we focused. I focused hard because that's what I was taught by Larry and Mark. Is to go build a retail customer base, get people excited about their products. Those that want to join the business can come out of that pool and work the business like a grassroots business. All right, so let me just wrap this up by saying this. Number one, Herbalife, if I were you, here's what I would do. I would take the company back from public to private. I mean, you know, this is a distributor-based company. There's 3 million distributors in 84 countries. I mean, worst case scenario, couldn't you find 10% of you, of the 3 million, to go rebuy your supervisor order 1 month in stock? I mean, if you did that, that'd be 300,000 distributors placing a $3,000 stock order, and you got $900 million purchased in stock. You get a 25% ownership. I know this is simplification type of thing, but let's face it, that's possible. It's possible to do that. Gain control of the company and take it private. You know, you already talk about the company having a buyout. Lead the charge, Michael. Let's find out what you're worth. Let's find out how long you want to stay there with the company. And lead that organization. Pledge some of your own money. That's what I'd do. Bill Ackman, Pershing Capital. First thing I would do is I would push for a full-on investigation state by state or in the local areas for the human health hazards that are potentially involved in the use of these nutrition clubs that are being run throughout the United States. That's what I would do. And hey, if it comes out clean, great. Otherwise, you know, it's good for Herbalife. Rules and regulations put in place properly. Secondly, because that's what you're about anyway, Bill. You're not trying to run them out of business. You're trying to get them cleaned up, right? And the second thing I would do is I would push the states on the business opportunity thresholds and have a full-on investigation done state by state, particularly in those 22 states that are involved with the thresholds that they have in place. As far as those of you that are involved in the industry, what are you worried about? You know, go out here and retail your products. Go out here and introduce people to the business. If they want, if they like the products, they love what they're doing, and get them involved in your business. And run it the way it needs to be run. Be the person that you would want somebody to be approaching you, that's looking at getting involved in a business, that's looking at getting involved in earning some extra money. Because I still believe that the micro foundation, the micro business foundation of network marketing, MLM marketing, is still the greatest opportunity for people who have no money to invest in something or very little money to invest in something. And even for those who do, it's a great opportunity to go out here and do something and make a difference and make a good living doing it. I know, I've experienced that myself. So anyway, thank you for listening in entirety, and I'm going to sign off. This is Matt Leavitt from South Florida. Thanks for joining. Good night.